about that?
Yes, I mean, if you look at specifics that I outlined in my speech, the S-chip bill, for instance, 130,000 kids without access to health care. Those are Nevada children. And he voted against the S-chip bill that would have provided for those 130,000 and directed millions into Nevada to provide for them. And at the same time, he voted to give huge tax giveaways to oil companies making record profits. Where are these priorities? He voted to block the opportunity to have the government negotiate with drug companies to get better prices for people that need prescription medication. Why do that when we have people, seniors particularly, that pay an arm and a leg for prescription drugs?
And I heard you say in your speech that you're going to appeal to cross-party lines.
Absolutely. These are people's problems. These are about Nevada's families. You know, it's not about Republican, Democrat, Independent. It's about people. And so many, this is why we have to find a way to work together. So I don't think any one party has a monopoly on all the best ideas. We've got to work together. These are people's problems. And people across the country, across Nevada, are really struggling.
And with the overwhelming turnout during the Nevada caucus, do you think that will help you in this election as well? That there are more registered Democrats than there are Democrats?
Can't hurt.
Mr. I owe you an apology about that. I missed my botched question there. Can I guess, rephrase it and I guess I'll ask in the sense, what is your stand on the situation in Iraq? I really must have misread your stance on that.
Well, you know, here it is. I could go through the whole litany of how it was a war at the president's own choosing that we got into so ill-advised, and that we had no plan for victory once we got there. And but it's a view out of the back of the bus now. And more importantly, how can we rescue the situation? How can we limit the number of deaths, the casualties, the horribly wounded, mentally and physically, that are coming home? The cost we're paying is exorbitant. We need to get out of Iraq, but we need to get out responsibly in a way that honors our commitment to the country and allows them stability so they can go forward and their citizens don't have to fear for their lives. We have to leave. We have to leave responsibly. We need a plan, really, to get out rather than more of the same. The idea that one of our presidential candidates on the other side said about we could be in Iraq for 100 years doesn't work for me. We can't afford to be in Iraq for 100 years. We can't afford to be in Iraq ongoingly. We have compelling needs at home. We need to be putting our investment here in education and in healthcare and in energy independence.
So you are for a slow withdrawal, so to speak. A withdrawal process, as you say, is responsible. That's not, a quick and run.
Yeah, but we also need to put pressure on the Iraqi government for the political reconciliation that needs to happen there, and we haven't really done that. That's what the problem is. There's more stability since the surge. I think it's just honest to acknowledge that. But it's a fragile stability, and were we to leave, I think things would absolutely implode. You see, you have to have a political, it's not about a military victory in Iraq. That's beyond us. What we need is a political victory in Iraq, and we need to work with the Iraqi people, the Iraqi government, for that kind of reconciliation that will allow them to live in peace.
So in Congress, if elected, would you continue to fund the president's supplementary funds for the war, or would you more or less put conditions on those funds?
I think conditions are important, because one of the things we haven't seen is progress towards a plan that puts pressure on the Iraqi government to work for that political solution. There are things we can do, an international conference, bringing all the players in the region to bear. I mean, there are things that we can be doing that we're not, and I think there would need to be contingencies. Listen, one thing that's really important to me is our veterans and our men and women who are fighting so honorably and so well in Iraq. They need to be supported. They need the equipment. There are shocking stories about how they haven't had the equipment they need to keep them out of harm's way. We need to make sure they're equipped while they're there and not put in harm's way. We need a plan to get out that's a responsible one and honors our commitment.
Have you endorsed a presidential candidate on the Democratic side?
No, I haven't, and I don't intend to do
You don't intend?
I've been neutral over the last year, really, and I plan to continue.
Do you think that one or either of the candidates can help you running on that ticket?
Well, I think it's hard to say. I plan to run my own race on my own terms as an independent voice for Nevada. And I think that's why people will support me in this race. And that's our strategy.
Any changes that you'll make from last election to this election?
Well, I'm just, I'm a more seasoned candidate. I know a lot more people out there. just have a leg up in terms of starting before, from really the ground up. I'm not starting there anymore. I'm starting with a big base of support, huge network of people that want to see the change that I'm the candidate.
And thank you very